Alright, everybody, I know I'm late on this review, but let's talk about Beavis and Butthead, Season 2. So, last week's episode was definitely a crazy one. It was called Tobacco Farm, and it's basically an episode where Beavis and Butthead misinterpret something, and they use that as an opportunity for something naughty to do. And so it all starts with them watching not a history documentary, but Mr. Van Driesen's trying to teach them about how George Washington used tobacco, and then Beavis and Butthead thinks he's cool because he made tobacco and how he can grow cigarette trees, and Mr. Van Driesen's like, no, you can grow tobacco, but you can't grow cigarette trees. And so Beavis and Butthead, after school, they decide they want to make a cigarette tree. And so they go throughout their city and try to collect cigarettes, but then they're stopped by a gardener. And he's like, you guys are doing a good thing. And he points to where the garbage can is, where you can put all the cigarettes, and then Beavis and Butthead decide to take that, and they find a garden. And they decide to trash the place, and they're just doing bad things. They're destroying the place, and they're destroying the flowers, thinking they're weeds, and they decide to pull it out. And then the gardeners are like, hey, what are you guys doing? And the gardener from earlier is like, hey, I've seen these guys before. They're good kids. It's showing how clueless some of the characters are. They think Beavis and Butthead are good guys, but they're really not. They're not villains, but they're more like just hooligans, basically. And so while they're trying to grow their cigarette tree, they end up getting the garden rebuilt. The gardeners do. But then Beavis and Butthead decide to trash it again, and then they finally catch on to what they're doing. And they beat them up, and then they go to the hospital, and then the episode ends with them agreeing that they'll never want to build a cigarette tree. And so that's the episode. A pretty crazy one. It was funny at times for sure. And, okay, so I don't really talk about the commentaries for this, but I feel like talking about it. So they react to, what caught to my attention was they react to Sabrina Carpenter. So I have a friend who really loves Sabrina Carpenter. I like her music. I think she's pretty in real life. And so to see them react to it kind of shocked me. And I thought they were going to say she's hot. But no, they're just misinterpreting the song they're listening to. The song is about a relationship falling apart. But Beavis and Butthead misinterpret that and acting like she's talking about a cliff. And then they're just arguing over a cliff. And then Butthead just slaps Beavis, per usual. And so I thought that was a bit of a change of pace for the commentaries, even though they're all the same mostly. But it's nice to see a more familiar artist for sure, since we do get more cringy artists. I'm not saying Sabrina Carpenter's cringy. I meant like other artists they react to is warranted. So the next episode is Married. So I was a bit taken aback because I thought Beavis and Butthead were gonna get. I had a feeling what this episode was gonna be about in the trailer. Like I thought it was gonna be old Beavis and Butthead decide that they're gonna get married for an opportunity, but instead they actually they think they're gonna get married to the person that helps people getting married. It all starts with Beavis and Butthead leaving their apartment. Surprisingly, the place is back. And, like, we saw it get demolished a few episodes ago. We don't see Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead, surprisingly. But instead, old Beavis and Butthead encounter one of their neighbors. And she, of course, just thinks they're perverts. And we get flashes of her slapping them, thinking they're creepy. And then Beavis and Butthead decide to go to this one town hall where you can get your driver's license. It's because Beavis and Butthead have not paid their parking tickets because they just don't care about it. And then the cop and the tow truck take the car away, And so Beavis and Butthead decide instead of getting their license back, registered. They instead go to a married register because the lines are too long. And so old Beavis and Butthead meet with the receptionist, and she kind of just says they're cute, nice men, but then Beavis and Butthead start to misinterpret what she's saying, and they're starting to think they need to get married to her. And so she officially names them husband and husband, and they don't realize that they're married now, Beavis and Butthead. And also they think that she's married to them, even though it's later revealed that she's actually married to someone else. And Beavis and Butthead just think he's a jerk, because they go back to the same place the next day after their nice conversation with that lady. And that's when they get to reveal the news. And then they decide to go back home. And then they meet up with that one lady from earlier. And they tell her that they're married. And she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry how I treated you guys. I'll do anything for you guys. And so they take her to Burt World, surprisingly. And, of course, for usual, they creep out the girl. They think things are going well. She did. But then she just slaps them and runs away. She's like, I was wrong about you guys. You guys are creepy. And then I think the episode ends with them getting a new car. They go to some junkyard and get a car that's similar. But instead of having 2 seats in the car is filthy. And then Beavis and Butthead is the driver. And of course, Beavis is sitting on the floor of the car. Of course. And the episode ends with them driving in the sunlight. They got the cans on, like the just got married car. And so that's the episode. So this episode was wild, just like the last one. I liked this episode a lot more because there was a lot more going on. This episode, Tobacco Farm, felt a little too familiar to other episodes. I think that's my only issue, but these episodes are fun for sure. And I can look forward to the other episodes for sure. So tell me, what do you think of these episodes? With that said, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.